Looking for an iconic Cleveland music venue that features premier entertainment, spirits, and food? Well, look no further than the Brothers Lounge. They offer a variety of live entertainment acts weekly, along with a diverse selection of beer, wine, and fine spirits, not to mention Chef Wynn's food menu, which has been crafted with traditional American fare with a modern twist. So come on out and enjoy the warm hospitality and make some new friends right here in your backyard. For more information, head over to brotherslounge.com and check them out for yourself at 11609 Detroit Road. That's right near the border of Cleveland and Lakewood. The Brothers Lounge, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
August 26, 2026, a date that will live in infamy. We have a quarterback, everybody. Welcome to the Inside Edge Net. I am Rob Rozycki. We got Eli Moon. Double A is lurking in the wings somewhere in cyberspace doing his thing. And we have some breaking news with your Cleveland Browns. Lord knows they are not mine. Coach Todd Monken addressed the media about 20 minutes ago, but reports are coming out even earlier than that, as early as 10 a.m., that the Browns have named their starting quarterback, and that starting quarterback will be Deshaun Watson. Eli Moon, I hand the floor to you. I hand the microphone to you. I give you a few minutes to figure out and to explain what is going through your head right now. In the words of a colleague of ours, thoughts?
Yeah, man. I've been trying to process this, Rob, since the reports came out from Jordan Schultz and Adam Schefter. And I said, no. Well, it hasn't come from the lips of Todd Monken, so I will not hear it. I will not hear it. Though those guys are very credible and I respect everything they do.
You're treating it like the death of a family member.
I will not hear it.
I need to hear it from the doctor.
I will not, until I hear it from the head coach of the team. I will not believe that this is the case. And then the head coach of the team, Todd Monken, spoke, and it's official. We're gonna be on for a little bit, so I'm gonna take this a little slow. I'm disgusted. Let's just start there. I'm disgusted, as a lot of Browns fans are. And for me, the disgust goes back 5-6 years ago. I never wanted Deshaun Watson on this franchise, on this team. The off the field issues alone. I mean, if you're a good person, if you woke up today and checked your pulse and you said, man, I want to live right and I want to do right, well, then the Cleveland Browns just may not be for you anymore. Like, I hate to be that guy, but this team continually chooses bad eggs and bad people to run this organization at the quarterback helm, at other positions we've seen. They have no shame in doing it. And their big talk is, we'll win it. We'll win. Jimmy has them and D has them. Whoa, when we win, you'll love us. You don't win. You have a below 500 record as the owner of this team that spans over a decade. You actually have made it through so many head coaches that I don't know who has the second most wins as the Browns head coach. Yeah, Freddie Kitchens, who fell on his face. Hugh Jackson fell on his face. Other names that have just missed me right now because they shouldn't get the brunt of this. Jimmy Haslam should. Let's start there. Jimmy, you freaking disgusting sports owner. I mean, I've never seen a man that actively says he wants to win and does absolutely everything opposite of that. Everything opposite. This is, and let's not give him any grace. Not that I'm going to. This is the same guy who traded Myles Garrett and Giannis Antetokounmpo in the same freaking span of time. This guy has no lick of sense when it comes to sports. Let's just start there. And he obviously isn't a good person. So for any Browns fan, and I apologize on behalf of Browns fans, because this hurts me. This hurts my soul. But here's the thing. Jimmy Haslam's never been a guy with morals. So for all of us, and I'm foolish. Damn it, I'm so freaking foolish. Because how can I sit here last night and talk to all of you fine human beings and say, there's no way. There's no way you start Deshaun Watson after what he said this week. That I don't care comments and the comments on after the game on Saturday and how he was received on the field. There's no way. They have to go Shedeur Sanders and start fresh. Fresh slate. We were here less than 24 hours ago, Rob, talking about this. And how foolish am I? How foolish are all we? And that's okay. We'll all wear the egg that we thought a guy, Jimmy Haslam, who has morality issues with his own company he runs outside of the Cleveland Browns, that we would think he would go with the moral answer and just say to end this damn experiment, disaster, disruption, destruction, whatever you want to call it. I can't. I just can't. I feel for the city of Cleveland. I feel for us. Because how in the world can you go into a season and be positive about all the acquisitions on offense and turning the leaf over on defense, Schlesinger and Tyson Campbell and Mason Graham, and being excited about that? Can't wait to see what Spencer Fano blocks. I just can't stand the fucking dude who freaking he's blocking for. That's where I'm at, Rob. It's ridiculous that we have to continue to put up with this. A lot of fans have already been sick of it since 2021, 2020. They've been sick and tired of Deshaun Watson being on this franchise team, 2021, when he was traded for. A lot of fans were like, are you serious? The guy already has a lot of off-the-field issues. Then you mix it in that he hasn't played. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for a team that has over 40 starting quarterbacks since 1999 to bring him in. But you know what? It makes all the sense in the world that Jimmy has him. That's why he's a perpetual loser, and we have to continue to put up with him as our owner until maybe the NFL steps in. And I'm just speaking to the NFL here. Please save us from Jimmy Haslam. I don't know who else can. None of us have the money to buy him out. Not right between me and you, respectfully. So I don't know who is going to be able to buy this dude out and get him away from this franchise. But this is disaster, though. This is like Stepien levels of bad. This is Stepien levels of bad. The Cavaliers have experience with a bad owner. I know you love Dan Gilbert. He's done a great job as the Cavaliers owner. And you can say what you want about some of the moves. He's not Ted Stepien. There's literally a rule in the NBA for what you can't and can do because of Ted Stepien. The Browns, the NFL, should create the Haslam rule. For all of the, I mean, this is the worst trade in NFL history. And we've seen Herschel Walker trades. We've seen other trades. This is so embarrassing. I was wearing a Joe Hayden jersey the other day when I could be proud of my Browns, even though they weren't very good. And if you walk out in a Browns hat today, God bless you. Because I don't know how you can wear anything Cleveland Browns apparel when they basically just punched, kicked, spit, kicked you in the spot where it really hurts, and then said, there's nothing you can do about it. And Rob, I'll hand it back to you, but I will say this. I have more thoughts, of course. But when I talk about the Cleveland Browns as a whole, everybody's getting it today. Everybody's getting it. Because we have heard it from Deshaun Watson that he doesn't care about this franchise. He doesn't care about the fan base. You know, he doesn't care, but he does care because that's why he brought up literally the majority of his postgame about how the fans treated him and how his feelings were hurt and it's personal. You're damn right it's personal, man. You're damn right. You're damn right. It is. It's personal on all levels. But this also falls on Todd Monken today saying, well, the fans don't make the decision. Sure, but the fans can decide to say, guess what? We're not showing up for Thursday's game, preseason week 3. We're not showing up for week 3 of the regular season. Less and less will show up because you guys think you can just do whatever you want and we'll continue to put up with it. And in a day and age where fans rock with players more than they do teams more often, Cleveland's and especially the Browns are one of those teams that still have a true loyal fan base, and they're spitting all over them, Rob. Spitting all over them.
I think we all need to take a breath. We need to calm for ourselves for a second here. Todd Monken did address the media, and he did explain, at least publicly, the reasoning in going with Deshaun. We have a few cuts. Let's give Eli about 30 seconds to breathe into a paper bag and start drinking heavily. Let's go with Monken's process. Basically, Monken number 1 that we have, Eli. His thought process into going with number 4 over Shedeur.
Deshaun is going to start against Jacksonville. Took in the full body of work over the course of off-season to training camp to the games, the joint practice, and ultimately felt like to start the season on the road, Deshaun gave us the best chance to move the ball and score points. I mean, that's really what it's about. And felt that way going into the last game, but wasn't sure. And after we talked as a staff, and after we re-looked at everything, we're going to go that direction.
Browns coach Todd Monken less than a half an hour ago with the media explaining himself. And this is actually the first decision that Monken has made that has really vilified him with the fan base. He hasn't had an opportunity to do it often. But, I think this is the end of the honeymoon period with the coach of the Cleveland Browns, because clearly if Eli's reaction has anything to do with it, this is not going to be well received throughout Browns fandom. And if you do want to comment on how you're feeling about this, Twitter, YouTube, either one, we'll see him in just a quick second, and we'll talk about him on the air, because this is a very divisive decision. And, Moon, with your, I know with the way that you're looking at it right now, it's not even half full right now. It's just an empty glass at this point. If the Browns do score points, if they do what Todd Monken wants them to do in the basis of this decision, because that's what he said, that this was all about scoring points and the best chance to do it. If the offense does move, and if this team does win a few games and shows some life for the first time in a few years, is that going to dampen your decision? Is this a typical fan thing where, and I'm not trying to disparage it, where we hate a guy until he starts producing, and then all of a sudden that kind of baptizes him from all of his sins? Is this one of those, or are these, have we just stepped a step too far, and we just need to there's nothing that can happen right now?
Here's the problem, Rob. Maybe fans could understand. Me personally, no. I cannot rock with this guy as a starting quarterback of my team. Now, fans in Cleveland probably could have, for one reason or another, because we're loyal to the Cleveland Browns, could have been like, hey, you know what? If Deshaun goes out there and looks better, then maybe some of the fan base would rock with winning. I think there's other parts of the fan base, myself included in that, where we just can't get behind this guy because of all the baggage around him. But all that goes out the window for everybody. When that side, more importantly, that didn't or wanted to maybe see a winning football team, when he alienated himself from the fan base this past week. When he opened up his mouth and he said, I don't care what the fans are, how they receive me this Saturday. And then Saturday, the Browns fans let him know how they felt about Deshaun Watson being on their football team, the idea of him starting for the Browns. And he had all of the words for about how we're disrespectful here in Cleveland, how, it's personal, how we are such a bad fan base that we just don't rock with the guy who's been unavailable a majority of this contract, and when he is available, you almost wish he'd be unavailable because he's unplayable. Besides, 2 quarters in Baltimore. We'll keep bringing that up. And that's somehow how he has life on this contract still, is 2 quarters in Baltimore. Isn't that something?
2 expensive quarters.
Yeah, and isn't that something? The Browns can never get it together against the Ravens. 2 quarters against the Ravens is what we're basing off of for Deshaun Watson. And I'm just trying to get under Todd Monken's, into his brain here, trying to get thinking-wise what's going through his head. I was at the game Saturday. I watched Deshaun Watson go 5 of 12 for 35 yards and an interception. I watched him look slow. He was really waiting for the play to already be developed and then try to squeeze it in there into triple coverage. Or the play would be done and he'd be left scrambling and either throw it out of bounds or he's taking a sack. I mean, he has no awareness. He looks like a guy that has played minimal time since 2020 really, for that matter. That's what it comes down to, is it's a mixture of things. And fans aren't dumb. If this was our 3rd or our 4th quarterback dealing with in Cleveland, and we were like, I don't know if this is the guy, okay, maybe we read it wrong. But we're not dumb. This is our 42nd. We have 42 starting quarterbacks since 1999. I think we know how to evaluate when a quarterback's bad. I think we know. And Deshaun Watson hasn't looked good in preseason. Sure, you can look at the 11 of 15. I get it. He didn't score the touchdown. Casey Concepcion rushed it in. But as we talked about here, we have talked about it on the network, Rob, that Deshaun Watson, the game plan was to run the ball and make him not do too much. Check downs rather. Dump it off to the running back. Dylan Sampson did him a huge favor in week 1 of the preseason by running a 43-yard pass, screen pass, a dump off for 43 yards. That made up a 1/3 of his passing. Yeah, I just don't understand what's going through their heads If it's Shador's not ready, then I don't know when he'll ever be ready. I don't. I just don't. And I understand it's a long career, and you look career-wise, and Monken mentioned some things about that as well, about long-term game. That's why I feel like he almost is being... I felt like somebody actually had a hand inside of Todd Monken's back tonight, or earlier today, and was talking for him. I believe we heard words from Jimmy Haslam and Andrew Berry. That's what I believe. The two guys that are still responsible for Deshaun Watson being here in Cleveland.
Well, and I'm sure they had input. At least Barry had input on this decision. And yeah, there is an element, I'm sure, of okay, we have this horse for one more year. Let's kick it till it's all the way dead. But I think this also goes a little bit on Shador. You mentioned it there that if he's not ready now, is he ever going to be ready? I don't know the answer to that question. But this was a situation that was primed and ready to go for the young kid to take it, for a Russell Wilson, Matt Flynn scenario, for a Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe injuries even included with that. Like this was when great quarterbacks are on teams like this and they do have a chance at usurping the veteran ahead of schedule, normally it has to happen. And Shador really didn't do much to distance himself from Deshaun. I think we all kind of assumed with the way the contract worked, with where Shador was picked, Deshaun's contract and Shador's draft status, that the tie was going to go to number 4 in this. And that's kind of what it looked like to me, that it was a tie. And we're going to err with the veteran here, because if he gets knocked out, the young kid, we can start him. And I think it'll be easier to make that transition. But to your point of what is transpiring during these games and how they've looked in the first and second preseason games respectively, Todd Monken did go into the evaluation process away from those games, and I think that had something to do with it, a tremendous amount to do with it, in the joint practices, in the training camp sessions all by themselves, not necessarily when the lights were on bright and the TV cameras were on. So, this is basically Todd Monken saying, trust me. But Todd Monken saying that, all right, I've looked at the tape. He has a deal, play number 3, Moon, real quick, where he was kind of talking about this. He had a little diatribe, 3 and 4, if you have them, actually. We can go back to back.
Yep, we'll go back to back here. Here's the first one, and then followed by more Monken. Here we go.
Absolutely not. 0. There was nothing to do with that. I mean, ultimately, the fans want us to win. Ultimately, put a good product on the field. That's really what they want, okay? And so that's our job as coaches, why we're hired, to try and put the best product on the field. And when we don't, then I understand their frustration. But ultimately, they don't decide who plays. Who would I be if I let someone outside of the building decide who plays?
Todd, I know you said
today what they're not seeing is the film. They're not in our building. So they're not going to know what we know. Now, you can see with your own eyes, right? You can forecast what you expect it to be, right? A number of those people weren't even in practice. So I don't really concern myself with what they really think. I know what we think and what we see every day in our building and our players and the momentum we have, and we're 100% behind Deshaun.
Browns coach Todd Monken saying basically, trust me, bro.
Yeah,
that's what this is. And right now, Browns fans, and I think to your original point that when we started this whole thing out, Browns fans, the only choice you can make in this situation is, are you a Browns fan or not? Are you going to be with this team? Are you not going to be? Because if you sign on with this team, at least for the time being, you're going to have to trust his judgment. You're going to have to trust what's going on. Now, the nice thing is that Monken, if this was his decision, is the only one right now in Berea who hasn't done anything to piss the fan base off yet. So there is some credibility with the uncertainty there that he might be right. Now, we don't know, but that's Monken saying, I'm the head coach. You're not. I'm going to have to do this job.
Yeah, but here's this is deep for Browns fans, Rob. This is deeper than just one press conference. There was a lot of triggering things that were said by Todd Monken literally moments ago well, we have the film. We've heard that before from head coaches who had the film, and they proceeded
Yeah,
to
but
go
what's he
1-31.
supposed to say at this point? Like, there's no course or form on how to deal with a traumatized fan base. Like, what's he supposed to do there?
I guess, my question is, what film is he watching? What film is he watching? Because Deshaun Watson didn't play the entire last year. He played bits and pieces of the year prior. He has played less than, I would go out, and we can add it up, and I'd go out on a limb and say he's played less than 30 games as a Cleveland Brown. And fact check me there, Rob, but I'm pretty sure he's played maybe a hair over 30. I'd say within 30 to 40 games in 6 years as a Cleveland Brown. This is a guy that doesn't have any tape of recent memory. At least not enough to go watch and go, here, let's see how Deshaun looked in the 2026 or 2025 season. How he looked in 2024 season, 23, 22. Where did he grow from there? What is Deshaun Watson looking differently? How is he looking differently from 2022? There is no tape. Well, did you count it up? What's the number? Do you have the number on Deshaun Watson?
How many did you think?
I said 30. 30.
Care to revise it on the under?
I went 30 as a high note. I'm going to say 22.
Think Bernie Kosar.
Oh, my God. 19.
19.
Oh, my God. So
and that counts. That counts. I think there was a game he got knocked out of. The Baltimore game he got knocked out of early. I think there was another one a previous year he got knocked out of early. He has barely played a full season in now 3 years. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, in 4 years now with the Cleveland Browns.
So what tape is Todd Monken looking at that we're not looking at is what I'm asking. We sat here in Cleveland and watched it for years when he was on the field and how bad it was. Todd Monken's been here. I know he was here with Freddie Kitchens. I get it. He was here for a hop and a skip. Deshaun Watson wasn't here. This is your first time looking at Deshaun Watson. So I guess watch the 19 games that Deshaun Watson has played in a Cleveland Browns uniform. I watched that, I guess. And that's what you're basing your decision off of? Because I know you can't be watching preseason and saying, this is our guy. The guy we watched on Saturday actively gave up on the field. Heard the noise, heard the reception he didn't want to hear, that everybody in Cleveland is rightfully allowed to do, and I'm with them because I cannot back this decision. I've never backed it. I won't. That won't change. It won't. And that's how Cleveland feels. And the ones that were trying to give him a chance, the play has made them now sour on Deshaun Watson. So I just don't know how you can put a guy out there that has alienated himself from the fan base. And now that seems to be the thing for the Cleveland Browns team. We talked about it a little bit yesterday with Shedeur Sanders. I gave him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. But you're seeing it. The fans don't know. The fans don't know. The fans don't care. The fans don't care. You're right. We've only sat in a freaking misery zone for majority of 27 years since we've been back. You're right. We have no idea.
And I don't know if he's realized this, but Monken has put a lot of pressure on himself with this. If he would have started Shedeur, if Shedeur is your week 1 guy, and you start the season 1-4, 1-5, 2-7, whatever it would be, and you are in contention for the number 1 overall pick, and you are one of the dregs of the league, you're going to dodge a bullet on that one because you know what? You haven't found your quarterback yet. You're going to be moving, into the draft, and you're going to be, moving on in 27. Okay, we understand that. And it's a young guy. You wanted to give him a shot. Cool.
Right.
But now that you've picked Watson, you have now put yourself in a situation that with same 4 games, same record, if you're 1-3, 0-4, instead of, okay, he hasn't found his quarterback yet, it's like, all right, motherfucker, you said this was the guy. Where's your magic? There wouldn't have been that expectation level if it was Shedeur, if it was a young team, a young quarterback, and a young offense. But now this is a veteran quarterback, a veteran offense a young offense with a veteran quarterback with all the baggage in the world. Yeah, as we just said, 19 starts. And also, too, what if I told you in those 19 starts to combine through those 4 seasons, 5 years, he doesn't have as many passing yards as he had in any single season that he was the full-time starter in Houston. It's like 3,300 to his career low in Houston was 3,800. So, that's he's had bad performance. He's had off-the-field issues. He's alienated the fan base. So with all those things being in play, okay, play him, but you better be right. You better be right. This thing better work, because if it doesn't, you got a dumpster fire on your hands. You also got the stories of you not being able to read the fan base and understanding the city and understanding the market, because if he understands it, he didn't care with this decision.
Right.
And okay, if you don't care, if we're doing what's best for the team, then this better work. And this better be what's best for the team. Because I think there is going to be a lot. I don't know if there's people jumping off right now the bandwagon, and however tiny populated it might be. But I think there'll be a lot more people that'll make that decision if this doesn't work. If this doesn't, because, hey, you're a new coach, at least how I'm looking at it, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm shocked that I forgot what I learned when LeBron came back to Cleveland the last time, was never say never on anything. I thought we'd never be having this show. I thought we'd never be having this conversation.
Right.
But at this point in time, what other choice do we have? We just kind of got to watch what happens, hope this works. And then if it does, there's going to be things that'll happen. And if it doesn't, there'll be things that'll happen. So as of right now, this is where the Browns are starting off at here.
Yeah, but it's so frustrating. It's just so frustrating. And obviously, we have a responsibility here on the Inside Edge Network, to talk, as the voice of the fans, us as media, discussing how the fans feel. I'm also talking from a part as a Browns fan and being disgusted that we literally can never get the quarterback position right. And I understand, Rob. I understand. Maybe we're all wrong. Maybe we're foolish. Maybe Todd Monken knows that Deshaun Watson has found the keys that he had from 2018. And you know what? We're going to see. I don't buy it, man. I don't buy it. 2 Achilles injuries later, a shoulder injury later. I mean, time, you just mentioned 19
can't run,
games.
Can't throw.
19 games in 6 seasons. I mean, I feel not only for Browns fans like myself that are 29 years old and in that age bracket, I feel for Papa Moon. I feel for the older Browns fans that got to watch Brian Sipe and Bernie Kosar, and I understand those weren't Super Bowl winning teams, but Papa Moon still to this day talks about Brian Sipe and Bernie Kosar, and man, you had Hanford Dixon and the Dog Pound, and guys that loved the team, that actually wanted to rock with the team. And here we are, fast forward to 2026, and they're basically just giving 2 birds to the fans and saying, buy the tickets, shut up, and watch it. The problem is, we've bought the tickets, shut up, and watched it since 1999, with at least a little bit more admirable human beings on the roster. Now you're telling us to do this with a guy with off-the-field problems, on-the-field problems, and has a motor mouth that won't shut up talking about the Browns fan base.
Yeah, dude, the last thing he needs to keep doing is talking about this interaction with the fan base and talking to the fan base. He needs to shut up and deal with football. On that note, apparently Deshaun Watson did address the media about the fan base situation, where he did address his comments from this weekend. And I know Eli really wants to hear from the brand new, newly minted starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. Let's take a quick break. Eli will start smoking cigarettes for the first time in his life, I'm sure. Maybe meth might be involved, maybe not. We'll see. We'll tease that for after the break, too.
No, I will not let the Browns send me to that level. I will not. I won't. But I haven't smoked a cigarette. I bought a pack in like 5 years. I'm close. I'm close to buying a pack of cigarettes. I'm not going to
black tar heroin still. Okay, with something. Yeah, there are things being considered right now that should not be considered. We'll let everyone take a deep breath. We'll take a deep break here. I'm going to go take a very deep inhale from a Marlboro. And we'll be right back with words from Deshaun Watson and maybe a little bit more from Todd Monken and from you guys, too. Any comments on Twitter, YouTube, if you're following, if you're watching, thank you very much for joining us here on this Monday afternoon, August 26, 2026, a day which will live in infamy. Deshaun Watson is the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. This is the Inside Edge Net. I'm Rob Rozycki. We got Eli Moon, Double A behind the scenes, pulling the strings, dotting the I's, crossing the T's. We'll be right back.
Looking for an iconic Cleveland music venue that features premier entertainment, spirits, and food? They'll look no further than the Brothers Lounge. They offer a variety of live entertainment acts weekly, along with a diverse selection of beer, wine, and fine spirits, not to mention Chef Wynn's food menu, which has been crafted with traditional American fare with a modern twist. So come on out and enjoy the warm hospitality and make some new friends right here in your backyard. For more information, head over to brotherslounge.com and check them out for yourself at 11609 Detroit Road. That's right near the border of Cleveland and Lakewood. The Brothers Lounge, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Key On Sports is the leader in Ohio high school athletic coverage in written, print, and video streaming. From the latest news and results and written content to the high school football game of the week every Friday, Key On Sports has you covered. The vision of 15-time published author Vince McKee has become the most trusted site in Ohio high school athletic news. From podcasts to player profiles, Key On Sports is your one-stop for all of it. Visit them today at keyonsports.com or on YouTube at Key On Sports. Check out their socials on Twitter and Facebook as well.
Please support the new Inside Edge Network by liking, subscribing, and following us on your favorite social media platforms. That's at Inside Edge Net across Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, X, and IG. And don't forget to download our new app over on Roku. And as always, thank you for supporting your favorite shows on the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader for news, talk, sports, entertainment, and mental health. Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans, dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to InsideEdgeNetwork.com under our Partners section to find our link to check out all of what Fanatics has to offer. Fanatics, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Clean energy, bold flavors, no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. Over 15 different flavors to choose from. Order Dubby Energy right now and find out more information by checking out our partners page on InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Also, use that promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Discover our collection of handcrafted candles made with clean, minimal ingredients. Every product thoughtfully created in small batches free from harmful toxins for mindful everyday indulgence. Imported coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks to offer long-lasting burn and rich fragrance. Find out more about Alley Rose Fragrances by checking out their link on our partners page at InsideEdgeNetwork.com. And if you're a first-time customer, use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Dine, drink, and dance at the premier spot in town. It's time to check out all of what our friends over at the Brothers Lounge have to offer. Everything from weekly live entertainment, a wide variety of different beers, wines, and spirits, and an expertly crafted American fare menu with a twist courtesy of Chef Wynn that'll make your mouth water. So, what are you waiting for? Head over to the Brothers Lounge at 11609 Detroit Road or check out their website, brotherslounge.com, to learn more about what you've been missing out on. Brothers Lounge, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Whether searching for a baseball autograph by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source for authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease, thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Check out sportsmemorabilia.com by heading over to the partners page on our website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. SportsMemorabilia.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Discover our collection of handcrafted body mists made with clean, minimal ingredients. They offer a natural alternative to synthetic fragrances, perfect for sensitive skin and those seeking clean, mindful self-care, and the perfect gift for you and your special someone. Learn more about all Alley Rose Fragrances has to offer right now by clicking the link on our partner page at InsideEdgeNetwork.com. First-time customers use that promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Mosser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Mosser and his wife Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northeast Ohio, but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more by checking out Mosser Moments Photography's link on our partners page at the InsideEdgeNetwork.com website. Mosser Moments Photography, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, we have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Thank you for your support from all of us here at the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader for news, talk, sports, entertainment, and mental health.
Yeah, we're going to need that mental health part of this for the next few days.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Inside Edge Net. I'm Rob Rozycki. We got Eli Moon. Breaking news coverage. Who would have thought that the owner of the San Francisco 49ers getting popped for buying a hooker over the weekend was not the biggest story on this Monday afternoon? No, it is the Browns naming a starting quarterback, and more importantly, which starting quarterback they named. Deshaun Watson, number 4, Rasputin himself, the man who just won't die. He is back under center. He is getting prepared for Jacksonville on the 13th of September. Opening day, he will be playing in his 20th game in just over 5 seasons with the Cleveland Browns. Moon, do you have any impressions before we hear from the Browns' fearless leader speak to the media about some of his complaints and gripes with said fan base?
I feel like a damn fool. I literally feel like a damn fool. Here I was 12 hours ago, sitting in the same chair, talking to you in AA, saying that, there's no way they can put Deshaun Watson out there after everything that was said, how his plays looked. There's absolutely no way. They're going to move on. They're going to get the fresh slate. Don't worry, Cleveland. They're going to move on. I feel like a damn fool. I'm sorry to all you out there that watched last night and we gave you the hope, because I felt the hope.
We were kind of with you. Me and AA were with you pretty much the whole way on that. We can't don't alienate yourself on this. You're one of many.
But it's just so frustrating, because here we are breathing life into the fan base and doing our part. Hey, there's hope on the other side as soon as Monday. I called AA up. AA and I obviously on the phone quite a bit, handling network stuff behind the scenes. I called AA up, and he was busy. I said, look, and I just started rambling. I said, there's no way they put Deshaun Watson in. This was before a main event last night. He goes, I'll call you back in like 10 minutes. Calls me back. I go, so real quick, let me just say again, there's no way the Browns put Deshaun Watson out there after this last week. From Wednesday to Saturday, he lost a job from his actions, because when we talk about a starting quarterback, yes, the on the field has to match up, which it doesn't. It doesn't. He does not play well on the field. He looks slow, out of place, and so much more. That is not good. And then off the field, he obviously has the baggage, the 27 cases of sexual assault cases that that are still with him. Some people like to go, well, it was 5-6 years ago. Try telling that to somebody that actually was involved in this case or knows somebody that was affected by sexual assault. That shit doesn't go away, and that's what's infuriating on that end. And then, Robin, I'll hand it back to you. Then you have the comments that aren't what a franchise quarterback should be saying about their city, their fan base, other things. That's why, overall, he doesn't deserve the job, and he shouldn't have got it.
Well, that's why whenever, and we played his comments from last night, I don't even know if we have those still in the system with all the overturn that we've had. But when he had the line about, the fans, this is personal. This isn't play related. It's personal. And then he invoked religion, which is great. But he said it was personal. And that was my first thought was, victims of sexual assault, that's probably the most personal thing you can go through. That is, if it's not number one, I would think it's in the top 2 or 3. And I don't even want to go in any other spot but that. But, that's a deeply personal act and a deeply personal offense. And the fact that, he was being affected by, yes, a lot of boos, but voice, but noise, by, sticks and stones, can break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I thought that was the whole saying. And the fact that he kind of trivialized, he's trying to turn himself into a victim when he has at least alleged 27 victims out there.
Yeah, I just have a tough time. And I know there's some people out there, and, it's just the reality of the world, that will say, well, as long as they play well, who cares what they do? That's their business. Well, no, that's not how we do things. When you are a professional athlete and you're not going to necessarily have the role model be the third string defensive tackle, though you expect him to still have good morals. When you're the leader of your team, anybody, like I said, let me just backtrack.
Well,
anybody should have good morals, but when you're the leader of the team and you don't have a strong morality system, a lot of people have a problem with that. Some will go, well, as long as they play well, who cares? We do have to care, because now and today, with athletes, you're out in the community. You're doing community work. You're around the fans. You're mingling more. So why would you want a guy that has 27 sexual assault cases and no remorse for the fan base or what he's done, mingling around in the community? And I thought it was real hilarious, and I joke using the word hilarious because it actually pisses me the freak off that he's sitting there and going, well, people don't say, oh,
I'm watching literally right now and get up.
Yeah, in public, nobody has anything to say. Deshaun Watson, if the Browns opened up an opportunity where fans could walk up to you and have a minute to say how they feel about you,
even a Zoom,
you would not survive a 3-hour Zoom call with Browns fans with how they feel. That's why it's like, it's a joke. It's a joke what he's saying when he's like, people don't say it in public. They would. But you don't show up in public. You don't go out in the community. You don't do good work. A lot of your business tactics are still fraud or foolish. I mean, you don't do anything correctly that anybody should want to look up to. You're not a good person. You're not a good quarterback. I don't want you in the city. And a lot of people don't. And if that's personal, it sure is. But for somebody that knows people affected by sexual assault, I stand with that. And, if you want to say, not you, Rob, but if people want to say, oh, well, if he plays well, maybe that'll forget. It won't forget from me. It won't. I cannot back this guy, especially when he showed no remorse. Like, I don't know if the remorse would have even done anything for me in terms of like, well, it doesn't make it any better, but he still just hasn't taken any accountability. So it's like, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's like the levels of hilarity when that comment is, oh, well, nobody says it in public. Brother, I promise you, people are waiting for the Browns to open up a meet and greet with you so they can go tell you how they feel about you.
I'm curious on when his last public appearance was, with for an autograph signing or a photo op or whatever, where somebody would have a chance to, maybe not even 30 seconds, but you can get a lot done in 3 or 4, when it comes down to words. And I wonder when the last one he's had in Cleveland was. Yeah, I mean, if you don't have the opportunity, you don't have the opportunity. But, this is where I'm at, and I don't know what story depresses me more, because the other one, that I'm running parallel with this, and Deshaun did not face any legal, when it came down to criminal implications with this. He was not charged in any of this. But, Seattle, went as fast as they possibly could to pick up a guy who's looking at 9 felonies and possible life in prison,
Right.
and can only play because the judge allowed him to have his ankle monitor removed from his, court supervised supervision here. So, yeah, I mean, this is a league where you don't care, as long as you don't bet on the games. I guess that's kind of the rule. And we'll see how long that keeps on going. CC Brandon Sorsby on that. But this is just one more step, just as a football fan in general. For you want to talk about the morale, take away the actual on-field stuff, and we spent the first half of the show talking about that. But yeah, the morality idea of it, the fact that I know he's been beaten and battered in 19 games here. That's not his call. You talk about the Achilles, plural. You talk about the shoulder injury and all the other stuff in between. He has gotten beaten around, but it doesn't feel like in the court of public opinion he's ever had to answer for this stuff. He's never had to pay a punishment for this stuff. And, we see in a lot of cases, these guys, look at Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, whatever you want to say about Deshaun Watson, what Mike Tyson is proven of doing in a court of law is infinitely worse. And he paid for his debt to society. He, was off the map for a while. He kind of did his own thing for a while, and then he came back and was forgiven eventually by some.
Right.
But Deshaun's hasn't had that. He's had 27, accusations. He was punished by that with a $240 million guaranteed contract. He has been given the front spot in the line for this starting job at every point. Every point in time he's been healthy enough to stand in the front of the line. He's had that spot. So, it feels like he is being rewarded almost for this ambivalent behavior, for this, for these comments that alienated the fans and are still pissing off everybody. I know he had a chance to talk today. Let's get it. We got actually a couple-minute cut of this.
Yep.
So, we haven't seen this, so we're going to react to this with you live. Thanks to Mary Kay Cabot, Cleveland Plain Dealer, Cleveland.com. For the video, and thanks to 1AA Anthony Alford for getting the damn thing in the system. Kick it off there, Moon.
I think just human nature, just myself being very emotional, putting a lot of time these last 2 years to get back and spend time in this facility in the city, meeting a lot of different people in the community. I thought I was going to get a little different response, but I think my emotions got the best of me, and my comments wasn't intending to go at any of the fans around in the city, because there's been a lot of great fans that have been supporting me, and I know the frustration. This organization have put a lot of investment in coming to get me back in 22, and things haven't been going the right direction that we thought it was. A lot of injuries, a lot of time off, and not putting the best football and my foot forward. So again, just I understand the frustration. I understand everything that kind of goes into that. And moving forward, I just want to focus on football, making sure that I'm putting the best product out there, having the best ability. Because I thrive off the energy. I thrive off the energy of the fans. I thrive off the energy of the community. I thrive off all that stuff. I think looking back in my history at Clemson and previous at the Houston organization. I was a big community guy, big city guy, big fan guy, during the game. So, again, my emotions got the best of me. I'm a human. I take full responsibility of that. And, just moving forward, I want to make sure that I put the best product for the team, for the organization, and for the city, so we can put a lot of wins and make sure that I celebrate and put Cleveland on the map. That's why I put the helmet on my head and I put the uniform on my body, is to go out there and make sure I put my best foot forward. And that was one of the reasons why I chose this city, is to come and have a lot of wins with this community, with this city, and make sure that we on the right track, so we can have a lot of celebrations and a lot of excitement to go each and every Sunday. So again, moving forward, I just want to make sure that I can give the city something to think about, in the first 2 games, and when we come back home, that we have something to cheer about and we can celebrate and, go do what we want to do, and that's achieve the ultimate goal and go win and, be a champion.
It was at that moment he knew he fucked up. Yeah, a little bit of a mea culpa back there, a little bit of a walk back from Deshaun Watson addressing the media. Again, thanks to Mary Kay Cabot and the Browns media corps and Double A Anthony Alford for doing a little producing there on the side and getting it in the system there for us. Eli, does that make you feel any better?
No. No.
All right, this is the Inside Edge Net. Sorry, what's up?
No, I mean, clearly Deshaun Watson had a chance to speak with his PR team. He must not have had a time to do that on Wednesday or after the game Saturday. So he spoke with his PR team, and they said, this is what you need to go out there and say, because if you don't, nobody's going to show up on Thursday, and then nobody's going to be there in week 3. I mean, that is the first time we've actually heard this guy say he takes full responsibility for something. I almost passed out of my chair, Rozycki, I was worried I want to be, awake in time for us to come back from the cut, because I thought I was going to pass out in my chair, that he said he was taking full responsibility for that. Go ahead.
Do you think it's going to help him that the fact that the Browns have 3 of their first 6 on the road?
Well, according to Deshaun Watson...
I'm sorry. 6 of their first 9 on the road. They have 3 at home.
Yeah, according to Deshaun Watson, because he can say all you'd like to say today, but when you say what you say, usually when you talk out of anger, sometimes it's miscalculated. We've all done that from time to time. But a lot of times you're speaking how you really feel. And nobody is forgetting in Cleveland what he said on Saturday. So he said it, Rob. He has 17 road games technically. So, he's starting on the road. He'll come back on the road. He'll go back to the road and then back here on the road. I mean, that's what it is. He has already opened up the can of worms that really already was open, but now he's opened it up even more. You can't just have one talk with the media on Monday after you get your way. It's so ironic that this is the first time you're like, full responsibility, and I want to see some wins when you get named the starting quarterback. But when the job was still up in the air, at least to us, on the outside looking in, it still was up in the air. You had all this disdain towards the fan base. This is the reason oh my goodness, I'm so mad. This is the reason he puts on the Browns helmet and the Browns uniform. That was a very nice PR answer there, Deshaun, because you know what? We know why you put the Browns uniform and helmet on for 19 games out of your 6 seasons here. It's because when you're healthy, the Browns are paying you $230 million.
No, when he's not healthy.
$40 million. Well, yeah, but when he wants to put it on, it's because the Browns are paying him a ton of money. And to say, this is why I wanted to come here. Just cut the BS, man. Cut the BS. We all know you'd rather be in Atlanta right now. Maybe not right this current moment as Kevin Stefanski. But we all know 6 years ago you wanted to be in Atlanta. In fact, you wanted to be anywhere but Cleveland. And the Browns said, here is a truckload of money. In fact, here's 10 truckloads of money. Will you please come play for our franchise? And then he said, you know what? Sure. That's fine. I'll do that. But all this talk, it was honestly a bunch of BS, Rob. It was all a bunch of BS. That's why I'm out in the community more. Can we please find the Deshaun Watson community events where he's out at Thanksgiving with the team and he's helping out the community, or he's out there during Christmas and he's doing this. He's out there on a random... He didn't even show up for the Denzel Ward softball game at Lake County. I mean, now granted, a lot of people didn't show up for the Lake County game, but Deshaun Watson didn't show up for that. So who are you meeting in the community, man? It's a bunch of false words. He's just He's just false. Everything about him is just you go
bullshitter.
You go to the McDonald's and you get a burger, and you go home and you make a burger. Mama Moon cooking a cheeseburger is going to be a lot better than a McDonald's cheeseburger, because you can hold the two up and you can see what's real and what was made with love and built from the ground up, and then you can see what is basically ran through a machine. It's fake. Everything about it isn't real. That is literally the explanation of where the Browns are at right now. They are not building this thing up with love or for the care of the fan base, care of what they want to build long term. They're literally sending a fake product out. Eat your McDonald's hamburger. Keep spending your money. You'll be back because you love this shit. Well, we don't love this shit anymore. We don't. Who would want to... Who in their right mind, please, in the comments, and I love all of you out there, but please, somebody, if there's anybody that thinks Deshaun Watson is going to go out there week 1 and look efficient, just efficient, not even light years better, like efficient. I mean, right now, Rob, I think Jacksonville is laughing, absolutely laughing. I think Liam Cohen is just repeatedly yelling Duval to himself for hours. I think Trevor Lawrence is smiling. I think Travis Hunter's like, damn, I might get a pick my first week as a corner this year. Like, I feel real good about this. I mean, this is, how can you believe that Deshaun Watson is going to lead your franchise? And here's the thing. He can say all that he wanted to say in that last cut we just heard. Of course, cuts like you mentioned, Mary Kay Cabot, Daniel Fuzzi, and the Cleveland Browns media. Here's the thing. You can say whatever you like. The fact of the matter remains, you said what you said last week, days ago, 2 days ago. It didn't change. It won't change. And when your play matches that, again, it's going to be ugly. Rob, I got to be honest. I've been sitting on this thought for really the last 55 minutes we've been on the air. I don't know if we're taking a break and coming back for one more. But I have
literally no idea what's happening. I'm just letting you go for as long as possible.
Okay.
I am getting reports on Twitter that people are driving by the building in Berea and booing.
And then I heard, and just reports, rumors. Don't know. I haven't had anything confirmed, but that they're calling up to the Brown Stadium and letting the people on the phones have it too. Which, disclaimer. It's not
those
it's
poor
not those
bastards.
It's not their fault. Like, it's not. They just
that's like that's like going off that the dude at the gas station because gas prices are high. That's not their. That's not their. But the thing, I get it. But I get it. I mean, you just want to yell and you just want to get going. You just want to go crazy here, and at this rate, yeah. I mean, the only emotion is to feel right now, I think, is outrage. It's either that or nothing. That's where I'm at, honestly, because this is the same thing happening over and over again, and somehow expecting a different result. Now, again, we all could be completely and utterly wrong with this. We could be, absolutely, just missing the point on this. Or, Deshaun, again, has had injury history before. Who's to say he doesn't go out there and turn something just walking on the field today? We don't even know. So, that's one thing we got to keep in mind, too, is that both these guys are still probably going to be playing at some. Do you really think Deshaun Watson is going to lock this job down in 17 games?
No, and it puts the young quarterbacks and I put all of them in that group, Sanders, Gabriel, and Green, in a bad spot. Because whoever gets trotted out there after Deshaun looks like absolute garbage, because that's what I forecast for the first few games. Then it'll probably be Shedeur obviously getting the chance to go out there. Now you put Shedeur Sanders in another position where they have a losing record more than likely, because that's why he would get in. So you have a losing record, and he has to work uphill again to try to show why he's the guy. And he doesn't even get a 17-game stretch to do so, which is what a lot of Browns fans were hoping for. We have sound from Chad Bryant. I think we'll probably take a quick break and come back, wrap this thing up.
One final break. Yeah. We'll get Chad's reaction. Yes, we'll get fan. Yeah, this is.
I have one more thing to say before we go to break, though, and then you can send us to break. But I have one more thing, and maybe this is a strong take. Maybe this is in the moment. The Browns lost the franchise in the mid '90s, and they came back in 1999. Though we think they came back. I don't know what this rendition is. It's not what Papa Moon watched.
I remember I watched that Drew Carey episode.
So I've been thinking about this for the last few hours, Rob. It maybe, and chime in the comments if you think I'm crazy, whatever. This feels as close to not having a football team as the 90s. This emotion that a lot of Browns fans, including myself, media, everybody is feels the closest to not having a Browns team here in Cleveland. Because how can you root for the team when the guy at the helm is somebody nobody respects on the field, off the field? And the owner continues to just take our money and smile at us. And nothing changes. This right now, this moment, right here, this day, 2026, feels the closest to not having a football team in Cleveland. That fans are looking for other options like they were in the 90s to root for somebody. This feels like, I know we've said this a few times here since 1999, this feels like rock bottom.
Well, the Guardians' first pitch is at 9:40 today against the Anaheim Angels. You can catch that for free on the iHeartRadio app or on News Radio WTAM 1100, also on 106.9 FM. But that's about the best thing I can tell you. That and gear up for your fantasy football drafts, guys, because I think that might be the team you're paying attention to this go around. This is I almost called us Sunday Night Show here, but this is breaking news coverage here on the Inside Edge Net. Deshaun Watson, if you haven't gleaned from the last few minutes, he's the starting quarterback. We'll be right back here after a quick break. We got some reaction from Inside Edge Net's Chad Bryant. I'm sure. We're on the internet. We don't have to worry about censor bleeps, so I'm sure we're okay with that. But we'll be right back here after a word from our sponsors.
Looking for an iconic Cleveland music venue that features premier entertainment, spirits, and food? Well, look no further than the Brothers Lounge. They offer a variety of live entertainment acts weekly, along with a diverse selection of beer, wine, and fine spirits, not to mention Chef Wynn's food menu, which has been crafted with traditional American fare with a modern twist. So come on out and enjoy the warm hospitality and make some new friends right here in your backyard. For more information, head over to brotherslounge.com and check them out for yourself at 11609 Detroit Road. That's right near the border of Cleveland and Lakewood. The Brothers Lounge, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Key On Sports is the leader in Ohio high school athletic coverage in written, print, and video streaming. From the latest news and results and written content to the high school football game of the week every Friday, Key On Sports has you covered. The vision of 15-time published author Vince McKee has become the most trusted site in Ohio high school athletic news. From podcasts to player profiles, Key On Sports is your one-stop for all of it. Visit them today at keyonsports.com or on YouTube at Key On Sports. Check out their socials on Twitter and Facebook as well.
Please support the new Inside Edge Network by liking, subscribing, and following us on your favorite social media platforms. That's at Inside Edge Net across Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, X, and IG. And don't forget to download our new app over on Roku. And as always, thank you for supporting your favorite shows on the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader for news, talk, sports, entertainment, and mental health. Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans, dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to InsideEdgeNetwork.com under our Partners section to find our link to check out all of what Fanatics has to offer. Fanatics, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Clean energy, bold flavors, no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. Over 15 different flavors to choose from. Order Dubby Energy right now and find out more information by checking out our partners page on InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Also, use that promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Discover our collection of handcrafted candles made with clean, minimal ingredients. Every product thoughtfully created in small batches free from harmful toxins for mindful everyday indulgence. Hand-poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks to offer long-lasting burn and rich fragrance. Find out more about Alley Rose Fragrances by checking out their link on our partners page at InsideEdgeNetwork.com. And if you're a first-time customer, use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Dine, drink, and dance at the premier spot in town. It's time to check out all of what our friends over at the Brothers Lounge have to offer. Everything from weekly live entertainment, a wide variety of different beers, wines, and spirits, and an expertly crafted American fare menu with a twist courtesy of Chef Wynn that'll make your mouth water. So, what are you waiting for? Head over to the Brothers Lounge at 11609 Detroit Road or check out their website, brotherslounge.com, to learn more about what you've been missing out on. Brothers Lounge, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Whether searching for a baseball autograph by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source for authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease, thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Check out sportsmemorabilia.com by heading over to the partners page on our website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. SportsMemorabilia.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Discover our collection of handcrafted body mists made with clean, minimal ingredients. They offer a natural alternative to synthetic fragrances, perfect for sensitive skin and those seeking clean, mindful self-care, and the perfect gift for you and your special someone. Learn more about all Ellie Rose Fragrances has to offer right now by clicking the link on our partner page at InsideEdgeNetwork.com. First-time customers use that promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. EllieRoseFragrances.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Monster Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Mosser and his wife Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northeast Ohio, but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more by checking out Monster Moments Photography's link on our partners page at the InsideEdgeNetwork.com website. Monster Moments Photography, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, we have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Thank you for your support from all of us here at the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader for news, talk, sports, entertainment, and mental health.
Good morning. We're getting word from all over social media, including Adam Schefter. Other national accounts are reporting that the Cleveland Browns have, for whatever reason, named Deshaun Watson their starting quarterback heading into their Week 1 matchup with the Jacksonville Jaguars. What this is telling you, what the franchise is saying to you, the fans, is that they don't care about you, they don't care about women, they don't care about sexual assault victims, they don't care about doing the right thing, they don't care about winning football games. Or anything that resembles any of that. Let's take all the off the field stuff out of it, and just look at the play that we've seen on the field in the 2 preseason games. Watson looks lost in the offense. He looks a step or more behind at times. He looks unsure of what he's seeing, unsure of what to do. I don't understand how you, as a professional franchise, could say that. Look at the play alone and say, yeah, this is our guy. This is the guy who we're moving forward with. I get it. There's money owed. His play on the field so far indicates to me that there's nothing the Browns could even do to hope to recoup that amount of money. Whether he's on the field, on the sidelines watching, at home, on his couch watching the Browns play. I'm sure he wouldn't watch the Browns play, but this is just further indication that the Browns can't seem to get it right, don't want to get it right. Maybe they never wanted to get it right. I don't know. 42 starting quarterbacks since 1999. And this is by far the worst human being that we've had at the position. But yeah, the Browns are naming Deshaun Watson the starter for Week 1 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So let me know how you feel in the comments.
That was the Inside Edge Network's own Chad Bryan from a dimly lit room, explaining in a very, very quick and efficient way about all of the problems that the Browns are now facing right now, naming Deshaun Watson the starting quarterback of the team, at least for Week 1. I guess before we get out of here, as we look into the future, Moon, the whole Week 1 thing, the fact that, and I know we kind of talked about it a little bit at points in time in the press conference, but the fact that it's a Week 1 thing, and both these guys are going to be here, this is going to be a running thing. We haven't made any decisions long term yet. This is a temp job, a week-to-week kind of thing. What do you make of that? And I think no matter who it was, I don't think it was a good idea.
Yeah, and Todd Monken mentioned, well, the goal is for him, we're not gonna bounce away Week 2 and say something different. We want to see it through, but we will obviously keep an eye on it. It's just a mess. This whole thing is a mess, and I know we've been talking about it over an hour, and really just to put a bow on it, because I'll be real, Rob, I'm on the air quite a bit today on the network. I'll be filling in for Chad Bryan. He's got some stuff he's got to take care of, so I'll be filling in for Chad for Illegal Formations later today. I said earlier. Later today with TK Dandridge. It'll be at 6:30, so 6:30 to 7:30 here on the Inside Edge Network. I'll have more thoughts on Deshaun Watson, and then, of course, Inside Edge Prime Time later tonight. Our entire evening block, 8 to 1, 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. We'll have thoughts from the Daily Spiral, Unfiltered, Inside Edge Prime Time, where Chad and I will talk. Of course, Autumn and Kyle beforehand, Double A, and then Double A at Midnight Run. We're all going to have thoughts on this. I don't know how this ends well. In fact, I know this doesn't end well. This is like, and I know you're more of a movie guy than I am, and I'll tip the cap to you there. But what I will say is, you watched, a lot of movies, Rob, and you probably watch a lot of movies on repeat. Some that you usually enjoy. This is like watching a movie you don't enjoy, over and over again, knowing what happens, and sitting there and subjecting yourself to it. That is what Sundays at 1 o'clock will be for Cleveland Browns fans, for however long this experience has to continue. And again, it puts whoever's young, and it's going to be Shedeur Sanders, let's be real. But whatever young quarterback it is, whoever gets to go in after Deshaun fumbles and drops the bag, once again, because he knows how to really fumble on the field, but make sure to hold every penny that the Browns are giving him right to his chest. When he goes out there and looks bad, it's going to put the young quarterbacks in a bad position, because now they're having to work from behind. The fan base wants to win. The fan base wants to see this offense. It has a ton of promising guys. Judkins, Fannin, Boston, Concepcion, Bond even has looked good. Flory has looked good. I mean, there's a lot of promising things on this offense. Defensively, you're trying to turn the page. But this Browns team, this organization, has stripped every damn near player you can root for besides Denzel Ward that was part of a team that was supposed to be the change. And here we are 6 years later trying to create another team that has changed, and we're held down by the Deshaun Watson anchor. There's this thing that continues to pull us to the bottom of the NFL, literally, and on all standards. And it's frustrating. Gone are Myles Garrett, Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb. Happy retirement to Nick Chubb. Damn. But Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt's not here anymore. Jarvis Landry's not here anymore. There are guys that were supposed to be the change. They're not here. And yet we are still begging for change now 6 years later, another renaissance, just to feel something again. Besides disdain and pain. And that's where I'm so frustrated. So hopefully, the only hope I can give Browns fans right now, maybe I'll have more answers at 6:30 and then later tonight at 10 o'clock. The only hope I can give Browns fans is this won't last long. He's not going to look good in Jacksonville. And if you think he's not going to look good in Jacksonville, I believe Tampa Bay's got a better revamped defense. Just looking X's and O's for a moment. They drafted Ruben Bain. They brought back Vita Vea on a one-year deal. They have a pretty impressive defensive line going against a inexperienced offensive line together, that starting five. And it's only week 2 of the regular season at that point. I think Tampa Bay is going to absolutely dog walk us. And that, you know what? Sometimes you have to return to your past to acknowledge that you made some mistakes. And when the past is staring at you on the other sideline in Baker Mayfield, and I get it, let me be very clear. There are some people that say Baker wasn't going to be the guy to do a Super Bowl. Sure, but you know what? I'll take playoffs right now. I'll take playoffs and at least a chance to compete. Maybe we get lucky one year and we ride the hot hand. We don't have any of that. So when the Cleveland Browns past is staring at you, literally on the other sideline, and putting belt to ass, maybe that's the end. The official end. Maybe they have to return to where it all started in Tampa. Yeah, I know it didn't start in Tampa Bay, but that's where Baker's at now. And he's the man there. He's settled in, and you can have different discussion about how long he's the man there, but they've committed to him. This is going to be, hopefully, the end of the Deshaun Watson experience in week 2, because there's literally no way you bring him back home. There's no way.
I'm kind of curious to see what what if he is the starter week 3, what that home opener will look like attendance wise. I am very curious to see, because that's really, they can boo and they can get loud that way, and Deshaun can feel disrespected all he wants, and whatever's clever there. But if they're not turning the turnstiles and they're not selling their concessions, and if they're not turning on the TV and getting their ad revenue that way, then that's something that people are going to be really keeping an eye. Like, I think that would be enough to kind of get everybody to notice what's happening. But we'll see. I think if he's healthy, I think he'll be the starter week 3. I think the Browns can look as bad as you think they're going to look, and he's going to keep the gig for another at least 2 games. But we'll see what happens. I mean, it's odd that on a day that again, the 49ers owner get popped for prostitution in Eastern Ohio. I was just looking at a lower third on Get Up that says any player college player that's cut before September 1st from an NFL team can go back. Like, we're living in a crazy world, and having this guy being the quarterback of the Browns is just the cherry on top of this shit Sunday. But yes, we'll call this a day. I'm sure Eli will have plenty more to say at 7:30 on a legal formation with TK. Again, we do have Inside Edge prime time from 8 o'clock till pretty much Double A stops talking at the end of Midnight Run. We're going to go all night on this one here and react to this. Again, you can hit our social media handles. You can hit the comments here. We will. We want to hear what you have to say about this one, because this really seems to be a decision that, football ain't great. The actual throwing and catching and all this other stuff that they're doing with Deshaun isn't great. But all that being thrown out, this is more of it seems to be, at least the last hour and a half or so, this is much more of a character and a moral decision than I think then the Browns realize that it is. And sometimes, no matter how good you are, you just can't play. And I don't know if the Browns realize, or the NFL realizes that, because that's the funny thing. I think if he were to get cut, somebody were to pick him up. But we will get more reaction from 6:30 till the wee hours of the Cleveland night here on the Inside Edge Net. For Eli Moon, special thanks to Double A Anthony Alford and all the folks that Mary Kay Cabot, and all the folks that we have been crediting video at throughout the entire experience. Really thank you to everybody besides Deshaun Watson. I think that might be the best thing to say right now. And most importantly, though, thank you for tuning in the last hour and change and reacting with us to this shocking but not shocking announcement. Again, Deshaun Watson, the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns for at least week 1 against the Jaguars of Jacksonville. Apparently, AEW will not be the most absurd thing in the Khan family that weekend. We will see what's happening with that. Again, tune in tonight. For everybody here in studio, Rob Rozycki, for Eli Moon, Double A Anthony Alford, and for you guys, this is the Inside Edge Net, and thank you for tuning in.